The goal of Positive Behavior Supports, PBS, is to proactively promote positive social, emotional, and behavioral success for all students by creating a supportive school environment that teaches and reinforces desired behaviors while discouraging problem behaviors. PBS uses data-driven strategies to enhance academic outcomes and create positive, equitable school climates. Throughout a PBS program, behavior analysts will use a variety of tools to measure whether the program is meeting the stated goals. One effective tool that can be used is surveys. Positive behavior support programs require that data be collected, interpreted, and shared. Surveys are a tool that can be used to collect data. The results of surveys can be compiled and the data graphed in a way that provides baselines, demonstrates progress rates, and contributes to informed decision-making. Within a comprehensive PBS plan, multiple surveys can be conducted at different stages of the process for different purposes. Baseline data can be used for planning and preparation. Mid-implementation data can be used to gauge progress, to determine the need for modification, and to identify needs of additional elements. Post-implementation data can be used to assess success levels, to determine the need for revision and modifications, and for planning for future. These surveys, the data they provide, and the graphs generated can be an important part of the PBS documentation. Surveys are valuable tools within the PBS framework. They can be used to help achieve a variety of goals, including to assess current levels of knowledge of PBS, to assess current perceptions of PBS, to identify stakeholder values, to identify commitment, what we sometimes refer to as buy-in levels, to evaluate implementation of elements, to assess progress and success levels, and to provide data for decision-making. Surveys can be used effectively and with relatively low effort and financial investment to gather data from individuals representing all of the categories of PBS participants. Surveys may be used to gather information from educational leaders and decision-makers, school staff, which includes both certified and non-certified staff members, parents and caregivers, community members, and the students themselves. It is a common practice within positive behavior supports for behavior analysts to train teachers, staff, and other relevant individuals in multiple elements of PBS. These include creating environments that promote positive behaviors, implementing interventions, delivering reinforcements for desired behaviors, and tracking incidents of both positive and problem behaviors. To assess whether individuals have mastered and maintained these skills and practices, self-assessments can be conducted using surveys given to people implementing PBS. These surveys can provide important data on the performance of individuals as well as school-wide implementation fidelity. They can also be used to assess the effectiveness of the training. Typically, these self-assessments are combined with observations and other forms of measurement and data collection. Positive behavior support programs are meant to be long-term, continuing across multiple school years. Within educational settings, it is common to have changes in participants as students and parents move in and out of the learning environment, either due to promotion to higher levels of education or changing of schools. Administrators, teachers, and staff may also enter or leave their roles within a school or transition to different roles. Since all of the stakeholders may change over time, it can be very important to regularly conduct assessments to determine the current level of knowledge, training, and implementation fidelity that is present. Many of the most commonly used surveys are designed to be used once or twice a year, while others are created for use prior to the implementation of PBS programs, when new individuals enter the school system, or when concerns or questions arise about the need for modifications to PBS plans. Based out of the University of Oregon, the Center on Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports, PBIS, provides a number of valuable resources on positive behavior supports, including what I consider to be the gold standard of surveys. The Center on PBIS, through a cooperative grant from the U.S. Department of Education, the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education, published in January 2022 the second version of the School Climate Surveys, SCS, with the School Climate Survey Suite Manual. The School Climate Survey Suite is a collection of brief surveys available in English and Spanish that can be used to measure learner, educator, and family perceptions of school climate. It is designed to provide outcome measures. The surveys for students, which are 3 of the 5 surveys in the suite, are designed for students in grades 3 through 12. The school climate at the elementary level is rated on 4 dimensions: school connectedness, school safety, school orderliness, and peer-adult relationships. For secondary level schools, there are 2 different surveys, the brief version and the extended version. In the brief version, school climate is evaluated on 3 dimensions: teaching and learning, relations, and safety. The extended version assesses 8 dimensions: school connectedness, peer social support, adult social support, cultural acceptance, social civic learning, physical environment, school safety, and order and discipline. The School Personnel Survey assesses school climate by looking at staff connectedness, structure for learning, school safety, physical environment, peer-adult relationships, and parental involvement. The Family Survey assesses parent and caregiver perceptions of teaching and learning, school safety, interpersonal relationships, institutional environment, and parent involvement. The surveys use Likert rating scales for each question, and research has shown them to be valid and reliable. Ideally, the SCS should be conducted once or twice a school year. They are freely available for use on the PBS app's website and can be administered online or using paper and pencil forms. The manual includes instructions for administering the surveys effectively, including sample letters to parents, participation notifications, and opt-out forms. In June of 2023, the Center on Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports, through a cooperative grant from the U.S. Department of Education, the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education, published the Self-Assessment Survey, SAS, and Survey Manual 4th edition. It is also available for free from the Center on PBIS at the University of Oregon. The Self-Assessment Survey is a survey designed for each staff member of a school implementing positive behavior interventions and supports to complete. All members of staff, from administration and teachers to support staff, both certified and non-certified, complete the survey either online or using the paper version. The SAS was created to evaluate the status and improvement needs in all 3 tier levels of supports, at initial implementation, for baseline data, and as an annual assessment. The survey takes approximately 30 minutes to complete and is available in both English and Spanish. The Feedback and Input Surveys, FIS, and Manual was published April 2022 as a part of the series of resources created by the Center on Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports with funding from the U.S. Department of Education. This first version of this collection of 4 surveys includes a survey for elementary school learners between grades 3 and 5, for secondary school learners in grades 6 through 12, for family members, and the last one for school personnel. Like the school climate surveys, the Center for PBIS makes these surveys available at no cost online or in paper format. They include surveys in both English and Spanish and guidance for survey administration in the included manual. Although there are similarities between the school client survey and the feedback and input surveys, the FIS is aimed at gathering meaningful qualitative information about how students, families, and school personnel are experiencing Tier 1 behavior support systems. Unlike the school climate survey, the FIS includes multiple open-ended questions aimed at eliciting suggestions for improvement. It is designed to provide feedback measures. For a variety of valid reasons, PBS teams may choose to use customized surveys or modified surveys. There are many available resources for surveys available online. Some educational systems will have specific ones that they utilize. They can have a varying level of complexity. As a part of the planning process, prior to conducting a PBS survey, it is important to develop a plan for interpreting, graphing, and displaying the data that will be collected. It is also important to plan for how and with whom the results will be shared and used. When choosing a survey to use, it is key to consider the population who will be answering the survey and ensure that the questions are clear and easily understood. It is usually preferable to use a survey that takes less than 30 minutes to complete. I am sharing a few more examples of surveys, starting with the PBS Parent Feedback Survey. This simple 6-question survey is intended to gather feedback data from parents and caregivers about their own knowledge about the PBS program and their perceptions about its implementation within their child's school. It's short, taking less than 5 minutes to complete, and the results can be easily graphed and displayed. The PBS Family Survey includes 20 questions asking parents about their knowledge, experience, and perceptions about the PBS implementation within their child's school. It also includes an opportunity for parents to share additional input and includes a probe question asking parents if they can list the behavioral expectations of the school. This survey takes approximately 20 to 30 minutes to complete. The results can provide data useful for planning and determining if modifications to the program need to be made. The data can be graphed and displayed easily. The PBS Universal Practices and Values Survey is an 11-question survey that asks school staff to report their evaluation of the implementation of universal practices and values of positive behavior supports within the school. It includes space for staff to include notes on the different elements being evaluated. It can provide important data on the progress of implementation that can be graphed and shared, which is critical for PBS teams in planning for the future. Surveys for PBS provide the opportunity for accruing unrestricted fieldwork through a variety of tasks. The opportunities you have will vary depending on the setting in which you are working or volunteering, your role, and the current level of PBS implementation within that setting. Here are a few examples of the fieldwork you could complete to develop strong competencies around conducting surveys. If your educational setting is hoping to implement positive behavior supports where there is not currently PBS in place, you might conduct a survey to gain information about current behavior management programs and their effectiveness, interest in PBS, the values of the school community, available resources, willingness to learn and try new systems, as well as other relevant data. If you are working or volunteering within an educational system where positive behavior support programs were previously implemented, but where there are no current or recent surveys, you might conduct a survey to gain an understanding of the current level of knowledge, training, implementation, and commitment to PBS from different categories of participants. If you are part of a team where PBS is currently being implemented and they do use surveys, you might request to be the one to conduct the surveys, the ones they use to assess perspectives on the experience and success, to evaluate implementation fidelity, to evaluate the ongoing effectiveness of reinforcers, and to identify future goals. If you are in a setting where PBS has been implemented but surveys are not currently a part of the plan, you might create a presentation for the stakeholders on the value of conducting surveys within a PBS program. So there's a lot of different things that you could do to accrue unrestricted fieldwork, and if you'd like to discuss this more, we can discuss this in an upcoming supervision meeting.